afternoon, everybody. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about user-generated content, which is basically anything that you create yourself and then upload to another service to store and share with other users. So I know a bunch of you use Facebook. What about Flickr and Twitter? Show of hands, how many people? Okay, so pretty much everybody in here uses one of these types of services. I'm focusing on these ones in particular because basically their whole point is sharing user-generated content. That's what they're there for. So the rule that we're seeing emerging with these services is that users own their content while the services license it. That is, you give them permission to use it. So I am sharing with you here a couple of excerpts from Facebook's Terms of Service. When you visit pretty much any website, there's a Terms of Service there that explains the terms by which they provide you the service. And when you use the service, you sort of implicitly agree to follow these terms. You agree to the terms. There's no room for negotiation. As a general matter, you either accept the terms or you use some other service. So Facebook makes very explicit that you own all of the content and information that you post on Facebook. However, you give them a very fancy license here, non-exclusive, transferable, sub-licensable, royalty-free, worldwide license to use any IP content that you post on or in connection with Facebook. So that's a fancy way of saying that it's yours, but you give them a pretty broad set of permissions to use it how they wish. Flickr does something similar. Now, Flickr, which is owned by Yahoo, says it doesn't claim any ownership of your content, but you give them another fancy license and this part B down here is particular to the photos that you upload to Flickr. So you give them the ability to use, distribute, reproduce, modify, adapt, publicly perform, and publicly display your content. Twitter does something similar. Actually, Twitter just in the past week announced a new terms of service that follows suit with a couple of these others. So now, again, you own your content, and as you see down there, they make it clear in case you didn't understand the first time, what's yours is yours. You own it. But they have, again, this is almost like verbatim from Flickr's, right? In fact, I don't know, maybe they copied and pasted it. But, but again, same thing, same thing. And something that I think is interesting about this is, why do they do this? Because, as I said before, services like this, they're the ones who set the terms of providing their service. And if you don't like it, you can just take your business elsewhere, right? So why do they go out of their way to say that you own your stuff and they can use it? Because if they wanted to, couldn't they just say that it's theirs and they can own it and do whatever they want with it? So I think that the reason they do this is because there's this tension. With these particular services, the success of the service itself depends upon users providing content. And that's because the whole point of the underlying service is to share and distribute your content. But there's also something else about it. For these services to be successful and make money in the long run, they're going to make their money from advertising. Facebook just in the last few days announced for the first time that it is suddenly a profitable service. It's because of advertising. Twitter doesn't do this yet, but it actually has stated just recently that it's keeping its options open to use content for advertising. This is important because advertising is more successful if they know what you like and they can gear their advertising toward the things that you like. These are ads that I got. Beach Boys in Santa Rosa, I get it, I'm from the Bay Area. Nurses Wanted, I don't know, not sure. Actually, I have been thinking about buying a home, so that's kind of brilliant. I don't know how they figured that out. Very clever. But the other side of the coin is users have to be comfortable providing content. If they're not comfortable providing it, how is a service like this possibly going to succeed? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a particular battle. Let's call it a case study. Where users and a particular service really butted heads in this way. Earlier this year, Facebook changed its terms of service without any notice to its users to say that, of course, you own your content, but you grant us this broad license, and if you ever delete your account, our license continues. We can still use your stuff. And what people took that to mean was that they were losing control of their content. And while, yeah, they may own it, if they ever decide that they don't want to interact with Facebook anymore, Facebook can still use it. And this caused a tremendous backlash. The Consumerist posted an article about it, and within about 2 days, somewhere around 150,000 Facebook users organized and raised hell about it. And almost instantly, Facebook backed down and said, okay, we're going to go back to our old terms of service. And from here on out, if we make any changes to our terms of service, we're going to let you know, and we're going to solicit your feedback about it. And if something proves to be very controversial, then we'll have a vote about it. And this is particularly amazing, I think, for a service that now has a user base that is close to the size of the population of the United States. It's incredible. I mean, they're basically creating a democratic process for governing this service. So I think that this really gives us a sense of where this type of issue is going. I think that we're going to see increasing struggles between services and users over control of user content. I think that we're going to see increasingly sophisticated user campaigns organized using these very tools for users to assert control. And I also think that we're going to see efforts by these services to make users happy. Again, giving users a bigger part in the governance of these types of services. And I think this is all very positive. And I really look forward to seeing where it goes. I really think that we're seeing a greater democracy in the way that these services are run. So my organization, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, is a nonprofit based in San Francisco. We advocate for digital rights, and we cover all sorts of issues. And I'm happy to talk to you about them either in Q&A or grab me afterward. But if you'd like to visit our site, please do, EFF.org. Thank you very much.
Marcia, thank you very much.